Have you ever imagined living in a place where everything works perfectly, safety is a given, and the quality of life is unbeatable? Well, Switzerland seems to be that place, a country many consider simply perfect. But is it really? While plenty of people idealize life in Switzerland, few know the little quirks that make this country one of the most sought-after places to live. Switzerland is full of contrasts. Majestic mountains hide villages that actually pay people to move in. And urban life, with its sky-high salaries, comes with an equally high cost of living. Wouldn't it be fascinating to really find out what it's like to live in the world's most organized country? Here, you're about to uncover the secrets of life in Switzerland that few people talk about. You'll see why so many people choose this destination, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start planning your own move to this paradise. Switzerland is known for being a peaceful and orderly place, but some of their laws might make you raise an eyebrow. For example, in certain apartment buildings, it's illegal to flush the toilet after 10 p.m. Sounds crazy, right? But it's all about keeping the peace with the neighbors. If you're planning to live in Switzerland, you'll need to get used to these quirks, and understand they're part of how Swiss society stays so harmonious. Another odd law is the ban on hanging clothes out to dry on Sundays in certain areas. Yes, even something as simple as drying your laundry can be regulated. It might seem a little over the top for folks coming from countries where rules are more relaxed, but in Switzerland, respect for others' space and quiet time is taken very seriously. These laws might feel restrictive at first, but you soon realize they help keep everything running smoothly. For foreigners moving to Switzerland, these laws might take some getting used to. Still, you'll quickly see that they're part of the charm of life here. Switzerland is a country that values peace and quiet, and these little rules are just one way they maintain that vibe. Whether you're living here long-term or just visiting, it's all part of the Swiss experience. And who knows, you might even come to appreciate how these rules create a sense of order that's hard to find elsewhere. After all, living in Switzerland means embracing these unique aspects of daily life. Switzerland's major cities, like Zurich and Geneva, are something else entirely. They're not just clean and well-organized, they're economic powerhouses. Walk down the streets of Zurich and you'll immediately notice the wealth. Luxury cars, high-end shops, and some of the richest people on the planet. In fact, several of the world's wealthiest individuals, including 4 of the top 10 richest from Brazil, call Switzerland home. Foreigners moving to Switzerland are often drawn to these cities not just for the high salaries, but for the overall quality of life. The country's economy is solid as a rock, and that translates into excellent public services from healthcare to transportation. Zurich, in particular, stands out as a financial hub, attracting professionals from all over the globe. It's a city where you can easily bump into a millionaire on the tram. Yes, they use public transport too. When you travel to Switzerland, especially to its major cities, you'll see firsthand how this wealth is reflected in the cleanliness and the sense of order that permeates daily life. Foreigners living in Zurich or Geneva can't help but notice how everything runs like clockwork. High salaries, yes, but the focus is on maintaining a high standard of living for everyone. It's this balance of wealth and simplicity that makes Switzerland so appealing. Even with all the wealth circulating through cities like Geneva, the lifestyle remains understated and organized, reflecting a culture that values substance over flash. One of the biggest draws to life in Switzerland? The wages. The country consistently ranks among the highest in terms of minimum wage, with some areas paying as much as 24 Swiss francs an hour. Compared to other places around the world, that's quite a paycheck, and it's no wonder people flock here for work opportunities. For foreigners thinking of moving to Switzerland, these high wages are a major selling point. The quality of life is undeniably better when you're earning a salary that allows for financial security and more than a little comfort. Sure, the cost of living is high, but those wages help offset it, making life in Switzerland not only sustainable but desirable. Switzerland isn't just a country for the ultra-wealthy. Workers of all levels benefit from these high wages, from manual laborers to high-powered executives. It's part of the reason why Switzerland remains a top destination for those seeking a better life. Foreigners who decide to stay and live in Switzerland often comment on how this wage structure allows them to maintain a high standard of living, despite the high costs. But of course, with great pay comes great responsibility. The Swiss take their work ethic seriously, so if you're planning on living in Switzerland, be prepared to match their standards. It's a culture that values efficiency and professionalism, which is reflected in the paychecks. Now, with those high salaries comes a catch. The cost of living in Switzerland is no joke. Whether it's a cup of coffee in Zurich or a hotel room in Geneva, prices are on the steep side. Even everyday items like tea or chocolate can leave you doing a double take at the price tag. For foreigners living in Switzerland, this can be a bit of a shock, especially coming from countries where things tend to be more affordable. If you're traveling to Switzerland, you'll want to budget carefully. Hotels, for example, can easily cost more than you'd expect, even for a basic room, and eating out can put a serious dent in your wallet. But those who live in Switzerland will tell you it's all about balance. Yes, the prices are high, but so are the wages, and the quality of what you're getting is top-notch. From food to public services, you're paying for excellence. And if you're careful, you can make it work, whether that's by cooking at home more often or choosing cheaper accommodation options. So, while it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the price of everyday items, it's important to remember that you're living in one of the most prosperous countries in the world where quality and stability are key. Housing in Switzerland? It's pricey, no way around it. In cities like Geneva, renting an apartment can easily set you back over 10,000 Swiss francs a month. For those dreaming of buying property, the numbers can be even more jaw-dropping, especially in popular urban areas. Foreigners in Switzerland often find the housing market to be one of the biggest hurdles to overcome. Zurich, for instance, is consistently ranked as one of the most expensive cities in the world, and even a small apartment can cost more than a luxury home elsewhere. It's a reality you have to face if you plan on living here long-term. That said, there are ways to navigate these high prices. Some people choose to live in smaller towns or villages outside the major cities where rent is more affordable. Others might opt for shared housing to keep costs down, but no matter where you live, housing is going to take up a large chunk of your budget. Still, many foreigners are willing to accept the high housing costs because of the incredible quality of life that comes with living in Switzerland. After all, with the high salaries and exceptional services, many find that it's a trade-off worth making. One thing you'll never have to worry about in Switzerland is getting around. The public transportation system here is second to none. Even in the remote mountainous areas, you'll find trains and buses running like clockwork, making it incredibly easy to travel across the country without needing a car. For tourists traveling in Switzerland, the efficiency of the transportation system is often one of the highlights. Whether it's a scenic train ride through the Alps or hopping on a tram in Zurich, the experience is seamless. Foreigners living in Switzerland quickly come to rely on this network, not just because it's convenient, but because it's reliable and eco-friendly. And let's not forget the Swiss dedication to punctuality. Trains are rarely late, and the system is designed to be user-friendly, even for those unfamiliar with it. The famous Glacier Express, for example, is a must for anyone wanting to experience the breathtaking beauty of the Swiss landscape, all while enjoying the comfort of a smooth ride. Yes, public transportation in Switzerland can be pricey compared to other countries, but most would agree it's worth every penny. For both tourists and residents, this system makes exploring the country, from city centers to remote mountain villages, an absolute pleasure. Switzerland is an absolute paradise for nature lovers. The country's landscapes are the stuff of dreams: soaring Alps, pristine lakes, and lush green valleys that stretch as far as the eye can see. The Saxer Loop Trail is just one example of the stunning hikes available, offering unforgettable views that seem almost too beautiful to be real. For tourists coming to Switzerland, the natural beauty is often the main draw. Whether it's skiing in the Alps or hiking through the countryside, there's no shortage of outdoor activities. Foreigners who choose to live in Switzerland get to experience this breathtaking environment year-round, making weekends in nature a regular part of life. Life in Switzerland is deeply intertwined with its natural surroundings. You don't have to venture far from the city to find yourself in the midst of jaw-dropping landscapes. Whether you're skiing, hiking, or simply taking in the views, living in Switzerland offers a constant connection to the outdoors. It's no surprise that Switzerland is often ranked as one of the most beautiful countries in the world. For both residents and visitors, there's always something new to explore. The country's commitment to preserving these natural wonders ensures that future generations will continue to enjoy the same unspoiled beauty. Switzerland isn't just about big cities and tourist hotspots. Its small villages offer a slower, more peaceful way of life, where tradition still plays a major role. In fact, in some of these villages, the government even pays people to move there, as a way to boost the population. For foreigners looking for something different, these villages can offer an appealing alternative to city life. Take Albanen, for instance, where the local government provides financial incentives for new residents. It's a win-win for those looking for a quiet, scenic place to live, and for the village itself, which gets a much-needed boost in population. Living in one of these Swiss villages means enjoying the best of both worlds. You get the peace and quiet of rural life, while still being close enough to bigger cities thanks to Switzerland's excellent transportation system. Tourists visiting Switzerland can also get a taste of this simpler way of life by exploring these charming villages, where time seems to slow down. And while the pace might be slower, the standard of living remains high. These villages are often surrounded by stunning natural beauty, making them a perfect escape for anyone looking to reconnect with nature and enjoy a more relaxed lifestyle. Switzerland's political system is just as unique as its natural beauty. The country operates under a decentralized system where power is distributed across its cantons. Unlike most countries, Switzerland doesn't have an official capital, though Bern serves as the seat of government. This setup allows for a high level of local autonomy, which is one reason the Swiss feel such a strong sense of control over their own lives. Switzerland is also famous for its neutrality. During both World Wars, the country managed to stay out of the conflict, maintaining its independence and avoiding occupation. This neutrality has become a core part of Swiss identity and is one of the reasons Switzerland is seen as a beacon of stability in an otherwise turbulent world. For foreigners, living in Switzerland means adapting to a political system that's very different from what they might be used to. The Swiss are highly engaged in their politics, with regular referendums giving the people a direct voice in the country's governance. It's a system that works well, maintaining the balance between tradition and modernity. Despite being neutral, Switzerland is anything but isolated. The country maintains strong diplomatic and economic ties with nations around the world, and its role as a mediator in international disputes is widely respected. It's just another example of how Switzerland blends its unique political approach with a strong presence on the global stage. So after diving into all of this, the real question is, what's stopping you from taking that next step? Life in Switzerland might seem like a distant dream, but with the right knowledge and some planning, that dream could very well become a reality. Can you imagine living in a country where the quality of life is top-notch, safety is guaranteed, and opportunities are real? If you're truly ready to change your life, now's the time to act. What's holding you back from leaving what you know behind and stepping into something new? If you want to keep learning and stay inspired about what it's like to live in a country as perfect as Switzerland, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any content that'll help you transform your life. The future is in your hands.